Marley was dead, to begin with.
There is no doubt at all about that. The register of his burial was signed by the clergyman,
The clerk, the undertaker,
and the chief mourner.
Ebenezer Scrooge signed it.
And his men go to the exchange for anything he puts his hand to.
Old Marley was as dead as a doornail.
Mind, I don't need to serve my own knowledge what there is particularly dead about a doornail.
I might have been inclined for myself to regard a coffin nail as the deadest part of ironmongery in the trade.
No doubt the wisdom of our ancestors is behind the simile, and my unhallowed hand shall not disturb it, or the country is done for.
There is no doubt that Marley was dead.
This must be distinctly understood, or nothing wonderful can come of the story we are going to relate.
And so I repeat emphatically, Jacob Marley was dead as a doornail.
Scrooge knew he was dead. Of course he did, how could he be otherwise?
Scrooge and he were partners for I don't know how many years.
Scrooge was the sole administrator, the sole executor, the sole assign, the sole residuary legatee, his sole friend.
And some more.
And even Scrooge was not dreadfully cut up by this sad event.
He was an excellent man of business on the very day of the funeral, and someone eyes with an undoubted bargain.
Oh, woe is not retained him across my knees strange.
Hard and sharp as flints,
Which no piece of steel struck out a generous fire,
secret on some side.
and solitary as an oyster.
The cold within him freezes his old features, stiffens his gait, makes his eyes red and his thin lips blue.
And speaks out clearly in his grating voice.
He carries his low temperature always about with him. Well, he likes to sit opposite the dog days. Doesn't for no wonder great Christmas, I tell ya.
No one ever stops him in the street to say, "My dear Scrooge, how are you? When will you come to see me?"
No beggars implore him to bestow a trifle.
No children ask him what happens to this.
Even the blind man's dog appears to know him.
And pulls its own away, thought to say. No eye at all is better than the evil eye of Scrooge. He passes behind our backs like a cold shiver. Edge his way along the crowded path of life, wanting all the human sympathy to keep its distance.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is nuts to Scrooge.
Scrooge and Marley.
Scrooge won't have Marley's name taken down.
Why go to the expense? Some may call him Scrooge, and some may. It makes no difference to those credits that may contain the name.
Or the coffin now, perhaps.
Once upon a time, of all the good days of the year, on Christmas Eve, Scrooge sits busy in his counting house. Jacob Marley has been dead a good 7 years.
It's cold, bleak, biting weather. Robbie would.
Scrooge can hear the people in the courtyard outside go wheezing up and down.
Beating their hands upon their breasts.
And stamping their feet among the paving stones to warm them.
The city coast has just gone free. It's dark already. There has been those all day.
The fog comes pouring in at every chink and keyhole, starring at a kind of little influence on Scrooge.
Fair weather does no better take advantage over him.
The door of Scrooge's counting house is left open, so he may keep an eye upon his clerk. But a dismal little cell beyond
A sort of tank.
Is copying letters. Scrooge has a very small fire, but the clerk's fire is much smaller. It looks more like one cup.
What is it, Cratchit?
Could you see your way clear, Mr. Scrooge, in your great generosity, sir, to spare me a few coals from my fireplace, which is now empty, sir?
No, I could not see my way clear. And if you take time off work, Cratchit, with those exorbitant demands, then you and I must part company. Is that what you want?
Not at all, Mr. Scrooge, by no means, sir. Thank you, sir.
The clerk put on his white comforter and tried to warm himself with a candle. Yet, not being a man of very good imagination,
He failed.
Oh, Merry Christmas, Uncle. God save you.
Bah! Humbug!
Here's the reason himself as well with cross.
This nephew of Scrooge's, letting it all in a glow.
Christmas humbug, Uncle. You don't mean that, surely.
I do. Merry Christmas. What's your reasons to be merry anyway? You're poor enough.
Come then, what reason do you have to be dismal? You're rich enough.
Bah! Hubba!
Don't be angry, Uncle.
What else can I be when I live in a world of fools? Merry Christmas, out upon Merry Christmas. What's Christmas to you but a time for paying bills without money? A time for finding yourself a year older but not an hour richer? And a time for balancing your books and having every item proved dead against you? I wish you every idiot who goes on about Merry Christmas should be boiled in his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly for his heart. So he should.
Uncle.
Nephew, you keep Merry Christmas in your own way, and I'll keep it in mine.
You keep it, Uncle, but you don't keep it.
Then let's leave it out then. Much good has ever done you.
I believe Christmas is a good time, a kind, forgiving, pleasant, charitable time. A time by which we all seem by one consent to open our hearts freely to people poorer than us as fellow passengers to the grave, not as strange race of creatures bound on other journeys which don't concern us at all. So, Uncle, Christmas may never have put a scrap of gold or silver on my pocket, but I believe it has done me good and will do me good. So I say, God bless it.
Let's be here. One more sum from you, and I'll give you the prize Christmas present. Instant dismissal, without a reference. You are quite a powerful speaker, sir. I wonder why you don't go into Parliament.
Don't be angry, Uncle. Dine with us tomorrow.
Don't insult my intelligence. What? Waste a day singing silly songs and playing hut-the-slip with a bunch of spoiled little brats. Seeing you in hell would be the pleasant alternative.
But why? Why?
Why did you get married, nephew?
Because I fell in love, Uncle.
Because you fell in love. Good afternoon!
Now, you never came to see me before that. Why give the reason for not coming now?
Good afternoon!
I ask nothing from you. I want nothing from you. Why can we not be friends?
Good afternoon!
I'm so sorry with all my heart to find you so resolute. We have never had any quarter which I've been a party, but I've made my charter homage to Christmas, and I'll keep my Christmas humour to the last. So, Merry Christmas, Uncle.
Good afternoon!
And a Happy New Year.
Cratchit! Will you wake up and let this relative out of my sight?
A Merry Christmas, Mr. Cratchit.
Oh, Merry Christmas, sir.
That's my clerk. 15 shillings a week with a wife and brats. Talking about a Merry Christmas. I think I'm retired to Bentham in search of some sanity.
The lunatic, unless the truth is empty well, lets the two other people in.
Two portly gentlemen, pleasant to behold,
Now stand with their hats off in Scrooge's office.
Good afternoon!
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas.
Bedlamites.
Scrooge and Marley, we believe.
Have we the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Mr. Marley has been dead these 7 years. He died 7 years ago this very night.
And we have no doubt his liberality is well represented this one partner.
At the ominous words of virality, Scrooge frowned, shook his head, and gave the portly gentleman back his credentials.
We are representatives of the Society for the Relief of Poverty,
Oh, are you indeed?
like a children's clothing charity.
Listen, the relief of starvation in city streets.
Gentlemen's provisions to simple fare for the deserving poor.
Hubba!
At this festive season of the year, Mr. Scrooge. It is Scrooge, is it not?
Yes, it is Scrooge.
Marley is deceased, yes, you said so.
Unfortunately deceased.
At the season of the year, Mr. Scrooge, it's more than usually desirable that we make some slight provision for the poor and homeless.
Who suffer greatly at the present time.
Many are in need of common necessities, sir.
Hundreds are in want of common comforts.
Poor people.
Yes, sir.
Beggars.
Alas, yes, Mr. Scrooge.
Are there any prisons?
Plenty of prisons, sir.
And the workhouses? Still in operation, are they?
They are still, sir.
And the poor law? In full vigour, is it? And the treadmill still turning nicely, I hope?
Both very busy, sir.
Oh, I'm very glad to hear it. I was afraid from what you said something went wrong with those admirable institutions.
But they scarcely furnish Christmas cheer to the multitude.
At this time of year, one is keenly felt and abundance rejoices.
Well, I want nothing to do with it. Now I wish to be left alone. I don't make merry at Christmas and don't plan to make poor-eyed people merry. I support the poorhouse, sir, and the workhouses and the treadmill. They cost enough in all conscience. So let those who are badly off make use of such luxuries.
Many would rather die, sir, than go to the poorhouse.
If that's what they want, then let them have it. What? Why not? Why not decrease the surplus population? It's enough for a man to understand his own business, and mine occupies me continually. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Mary.
Good afternoon.
Seeing clearly that it would be useless to pursue their quest.
The party gentlemen withdrew.
Cornelius. Hold up. Piercing. Searching.
Rising cold.
Grown up and
Scant young nose, gnawed and rumbled by the hungry cold,
His bones gnawed by dogs.
Stooped down the Scrooge's keyhole to regale him with a carol.
To save us all from Satan's power when we're gone astray.
Come back!
At length the hour shutting up the counting house arrived.
With an ill will,
Scrooge dismounted from his stool.
and tacitly admitted the fact to the expectant clerk.
You'll want today off tomorrow, don't doubt. If it's quite convenient, sir. It's not quite convenient. More than that, it's not fair. If I was to stop half the crown for it, you'd start squealing. I'll be bound. You think yourself ill-used? Well, don't you think I'm ill-used having to pay for your lying idol? Christmas is but once a year, sir. So you can pick a man's pocket every 25th of December? Poor excuse. I suppose you're asking for the whole day. No! Be 2 hours early next morning, and when sanity returns to the world, that's all I've got to say to you. Happy Bah!
Now to the Lord sing praises, all you within this place, and with true love and brotherhood each other now embrace. The holy tide of Christmas all others does embrace. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy.
Meanwhile, the fog and darkness lifted, so that people were about with flaring lanterns. The ancient tower of the church,
Whose gravel bell was pitching slightly down.
out of the bucket window in the wall, arrived the hours of tremulous vibrations afterwards.
as if his teeth were chattering his head up there.
The cold comes in tents.
The brightness of the shops with the holly sprigs and berries crackling as announced the heat of the windows.
Made pale faces ruddy as they passed.
The Lord Mayor,
In the stronghold of a mighty mansion house,
gives orders to his 50 cooks and butlers.
Keep Christmas in the Lord Mayor's household should.
Scrooge has finished his newspaper and regards the evening with his favourite reading.
his bank statement.
Cratchit, with the long end of his tongue dangling below his leg.
Boy Beige, Negro Cage. Goes down the sliding corridor 20 times. Between a lane of toys.
In honour of King Christmas Eve.
Waiter! Toothpick!
Alas, we pass but see none here that brings us either ale or beer. Let's leave a longer time to wait for rust and cobweb find the gate. Alas, we pass but see none here that brings us either ale or beer. Let's leave a longer time to wait for rust and cobweb find the gate.
Scrooge is going home to bed. He lives in the dusty room and sit with the home of his dead heart in a gloomy tower building.
Up a yard where it has no business to do. Playing hide and seek while a house has got the way out.
When chimneys do forever weep, for want of warmth when the white sleep, it is in vain to sing or say, our coffee here but we'll away.
The yard is so dark that even Scrooge, who knows it's every stone, has to grope with his hands.
When you'll be sad and reckon this the fortune bad, to have lost the good
corporation.
So let everyone explain why Scrooge can see. Having his key in the lock, should see.
Not a knocker, but
Marley's face.
With a dismal light about it, blowing up the bad looks from the dark.
Though the eyes are open, they don't move.
That and its livid colour
Makes it horrible.
Horrible! Jacob Marley, is that you, Jacob? What do you think you're playing at? My old partner. Don't come bothering me now. You was dead as a coffin now, remember?
It's a knocker again.
That's better, Jacob. Never there at all, were you? If you were there, I'd expect a pigtail sticking up behind you. But no pigtail, and therefore no Jacob. Quadra demonstratum. So as far as all ghosts and nightwalkers go, it's humbug. Pooh pooh.
Sam talk of driving the coach and horses up a good old flight of stairs.
But I mean to say, we put a house at our staircase.
Is that what Scrooge thinks he can see a hearse in the globe?
Of course it's dark. Scrooge likes it dark.
Darkest comes cheap!
Sitting room, all as it should be. Nobody under the bed, nobody on the bed, nobody under the chair.
A small fire in the grate.
Spoon and basin ready for the little pot of gruel upon the hob.
Scrooge has a cauldron in his head.
Nobody under the bed.
Nobody in the closet.
Nobody in his dressing gown, which is hanging in a suspicious attitude against the wall.
Quite satisfied, Scrooge sits down beside the fire to take his gruel.
Very small fire. Nothing with such a bitter light. He is obliged to sit over it and brood over it before he can extract the least sensation from such a handful of fuel.
His glance happens to rest upon a bell.
A disused bell that hangs in his room.
And forgotten in the highest chamber of the house.
It is with great astonishment
And inexplicable dread
That Scrooge's bell begins to swing.
It swings so softly, it hardly makes a sound.
But now it rings out loudly.
And so does every bell in the house. Who's ringing the bells?
It's humbug still. I wouldn't believe it.
Who slams the door?
And drags chain, but there's no prison hereabouts.
Footsteps.
Scrooge never held a stair carpet,
So he can hear footsteps on the stairs.
Ah! What do you want from me?
Much.
Who are you then?
Brother asked me who I was.
All right then, who were you?
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
Jacob Marley. I always thought you had no mouth. Now I see it clearly.
You don't believe in me.
I don't.
Why do you doubt your senses?
Because little things upset them. How do I know you're not a mere indigestion? Or a gristle of chop? Or a blot of mustard, or a crumb of cheese? Or a fragment of underdone potato? You're nothing more than a stomach upset. More gravy than the graveyard, you. You see this toothpick?
I do.
You're not looking at it.
I see it all the same.
Well, if I was to swallow this, I'll be persecuted for the rest of my days. Persecuted for legions of hobgoblins and restless spirits. Stomach upset. What do you want from me? Dreadful evolution, what do you want from me?
Bear one in mind! Do you believe in me or not?
Well, I suppose I do, Jacob. Got no choice, have I? Why are you in chains?
I work the chain I made in life. I made it link by link, yard by yard. I made it of my own free will. Every day I made money and forgot the poor.
And you travel every day wearing that.
Would you know the weight and the length of the strong coil you will bear yourself? It was as long and as heavy as the 7 Christmas Eves ago. You have labored on it since. It is a ponderous chain.
I beg you, Jacob, don't be hard on me. Speak comfort to me.
I have none to give. I cannot linger anywhere. I have very little time left to deal with you.
I beg you, Jacob, not too flowery, mind.
This time of the rolling year, why did I walk through crowds of fellow beings with my eyes turned down and never raised them to that blessed star that took the wise men to a home of poverty?
That's flowery, Jacob. Very flowery.
I'm here to warn you, Ebenezer Scrooge, to give you a chance of escaping my fate, and to bring you some hope.
Paul, you were always a good friend to me, Jacob. A bit of hope will come very welcome.
You'll be visited by 3 spirits.
Is that the hope you spoke of?
It is.
Then thank you very much. I'd rather do without it.
Expect the first tomorrow when the bell tolls 1.
But Jacob, couldn't I all 3 at once and get them all over and done with? Like nasty medicine.
Expect the next night when the bell tolls 1, and the third the night following. And when the last stroke of midnight no longer echoes, look to see me no more, Ebenezer Scrooge, but for your own sake, remember me! Remember me!
The air is filled with phantoms, wandering hither and thither in restless haste,
and moaning as they go. Everyone! One of them went in like Marley's ghosts.
Some of them are linked together. They might be guilty government ministers. None are free.
Scrooge was the many moved in their lifetime.
he has become quite familiar with one old ghost in a white waistcoat.
The monster stake attached to his ankle.
Marley, who flies down to help a wretched woman with an infant in the store below.
And flies pitilessly when snatched away. The misery for them all is
That they seek to interfere for good in human matters.
And have lost the power forever.
No! No! Ah! Ah!
Ding dong, half past what I wonder. Took a long sleep, didn't I? When I got there, ding dong 42 it. It must be morning, dark as hell at Christmas. Ding dong the hour itself, and nothing else. It's 1 o'clock. It can't be possible. It was near 2 when I went to bed with all this disturbance. Could I have slept 23 hours? Where's my watch? I had Marley's watch once. No use to it now, is it? The clock says 1 also. The clock runs mad like people all over Christmas.
The curtains of his bed are drawn aside, I tell you, by hand. Or the curtains at his feet, or the curtains at his back. But the curtains to which his face was addressed. The curtains of his bed were drawn aside. And Scrooge started into a half recumbent attitude, but came face to face with the unearthly visitor who drew them. As close to it as I'm now close to you, and I'm standing in the spirit at your elbow.
You! Are you the visitor I was told to expect?
I
Who are you then?
I am the ghost of the Christmas past.
Long past?
No, your past.
Please, Spirit, no need to stand there so respectful. Be covered. Put your cup on your head.
My cap. You want to put out my light so quickly. You are the dim spirit who tried to make the whole world weary. You, the great fire extinguisher. Don't ask me that.
Please, Spirit, don't trouble yourself any further. I was only trying to see you quite comfortably. Put your cap on your arm as far as I'm concerned. Now, Spirit, will you be staying long? I'm a young man, old gentleman, spirit if you like. What exactly is your business with me?
Your reclamation.
Oh, Spirit, that's kind of you, exceedingly kind. But as far as my own reclamation is concerned, a good night's sleep would have done me some good. And a nice cup of hot tea around 7, a nice bit of business to bring up if it wasn't near Christmas.
Your welfare. Take heed.
What exactly?
We shall only find it after a long voyage of discovery. Now, are you ready to set out with me?
I'll be going far, and hardly, Spirit, I'm in my nightgown.
Very far. A very long way indeed, Scrooge. And a nightgown will not matter.
But there's a sharp, steepy wind outside. Perhaps if I put a pair of trousers or a greatcoat, perhaps.
Trousers and a grey coat will not be necessary.
A pair of boots, perhaps.
Nor boots either.
Just slippers then, as I have a nasty cold upon me. How do we travel, exactly?
We shall travel through the air.
walking blindfolded.
Don't you have forgotten it for so many years? What's up in your cheek?
On my cheek, just a pimple, a perfectly ordinary pimple.
Here is to Dobbin and to his right eye. Pray God send the master a good Christmas tide.
Who are they?
These are the shadows of things that have been. They have no conscience, little one.
What are they shouting?
Listen.
And here is to Dobbin and to his right eye. Pray God send the master a good Christmas tide.
I can't hear.
Not yet. What's a Merry Christmas to you? Out from Christmas. There's your opinion of the matter. Isn't it, Scrooge?
Yes, spirit. I know him.
The school wasn't altogether empty. There was one lonely boy, bidden to come home by his father, made to stay at school and made to work for his teeth. You remember?
I was alone.
Not entirely.
Open sesame.
Ali Baba. I remember him and his slave girl Morgiana, who had boiled 40 rubbers in oil. Sound businessman. Ali knew the value of money, and he took over his mother's shop. Old Crusoe. I remember him as he came to me last afternoon. He thought he was dreaming, but there was a parrot speaking, you know. And Sinbad got him sea drunk with a bottle of wine. And Friday, running away from his enemies before they make a stew out of him. Run, Friday, run! Halloo, halloo!
To hear Scrooge expending all the earnestness of his nature on such subjects,
In an extraordinary voice between laughing and crying, and to see his heightened and excited face, would have been a surprise to his business friends in the city.
Scrooge! Oh boy, I wish
What do you wish?
there was a boy singing a Christmas carol, and I frightened him away. Scrooge, where are you?
Stop idling there, boy. There are potatoes to be peeled. I did not honor this school so I read the books, you know.
Close, Sesame.
Scrooge!
Let us see another Christmas.
Wait a minute, I know him also.
Still alone after 10 Christmases.
Not reading now. Walking up and down in my cage. Well, the boys have gone home for jolly holidays.
Scrooge, your sister is here to see you.
Dear brother,
Fan, why are you here?
to bring you home.
Home, little Fan, that's not possible.
Yes, it is. Home's good enough. Home's forever and forever. Our father's grown much kinder and now home's changed. Home's like heaven. He spoke so gently to me as I was going to bed, so I dared ask him if he might come home. And he said, yes, my dear brother, yes, you may. So I've been sent to the coach to bring you.
You're quite a woman now, little Fan.
And you ought to be a man and then come back here again.
Fetch down Master Scrooge's box!
We should be together all the Christmas long and have the merriest time in the world.
You are to be launched, Scrooge, out on the dangerous seas of life, where you have long been in these kindly and cozy establishments, where you have been long protected and crusaded by the loving hands of self and slum. But as you travel dangerously, Scrooge, to the distant empire, through the tropic sun, desert cold, you will feel it in your hearts. The loyalty and gratitude of what this school has done for you. You will remember.
I promise you, sir, yes.
I see. I have touched your heart, your loyal spirit.
I promise never to remember you, never to think of you again, not if I can possibly help it. Come on, Fan.
Always a delicate creature was your sister Fan.
She was. I won't deny it.
She had a great heart, and she died with one child.
Yes, one child.
Your nephew.
Fred.
God bless the master of this house and all that are within. And to begin his Christmas tide with mirth, now let us sing. God bless the master of this house and all that are within. And to begin his Christmas tide with mirth, now let us sing.
You remember?
I remember I was apprenticed here. Why, it's on Fezziwig. Bless his heart. Fezziwig is alive again.
7 o'clock. Yo-ho there. Ebenezer. Dick.
Dick Wilkins, I guess where it is.
Hilly-ho. So there you are, my lads. No more work tonight. It's Christmas Eve, Dick. So what's the first thing we do tonight, eh, boys?
Have the shutters up, Mr. Fezziwig.
Shutters up for a man can say Jack Robinson. Hilly-ho, let's have plenty of room in here, hey boys? Every movable moved away, my lads.
As though it's dismissed from public life forever.
Floor swept, logs on the fire, lamps trimmed.
Clear away. There's nothing we wouldn't clear away with old Fezziwig living on.
Hilly-ho, my lads. Well done. Welcome to the Fezziwig Ballroom and Grand Palace of the Dance. Let the music commence.
I remember the old fellow as he made an orchestra out of Fezziwig's desk. And tuned up like 50 stunner cakes!
Hilly-ho, let the revelry commence.
In comes Mrs. Fezziwig with one fast, substantial smile.
In come the 3 Mrs. Fezziwigs, beaming and lovable. In come 6 young followers whose hearts they broke.
In comes the housemaid.
Hello, cousin. The baker.
In comes the cook.
With her brother's particular friend, the milkman.
In comes the dog next door who has thought how there is by her mistress. Trying to hide behind her is the tenders boy from next door. But one.
Who is suspected of not getting enough to eat from his master? Sir Hilly-ho, with our cake and our Angus, with our cold roast and our cold boiled, with our mince pies and our beer, with our fiddler, an artful dog mind, the sort of fellow who knows his business better than you or I could have taught it to him. Shall our Christmas ever die?
Never die!
So let the dancing commence.
I remember!
Strike up, Sir Robert Academy.
Oh, Mr. Fezziwig, stand and look for Mrs. Fezziwig.
Top couple too. The good speaking to work without
3 or 4 and 20 pairs of partners. People who are not surprised.
People who will dance because they have no notion of walking, but they may do twice as many.
or 4 times. Old Fezziwig would have been a match. And who would Mrs. Fezziwig? As to her, she is what used to be his partner in every sense of the term. If that's a high praise, tell me another, and I'll use it.
I remember.
Everybody delighted with me because Fezziwig's stars. They shine every part of the dance like moons. You could predict at any time what would come up with next. And when Old Fezziwig and Mrs. Fezziwig come to dance, advance and retire, hold hands with your partner, bow or curtsy, corkscrew, step the needle, and then back again to your place.
Fezziwig cuts her deck and you appear to wait for the sex and have a woman again satisfaction.
Mr. and Mrs. Fezziwig both take their stations, one on either side of the door.
Shaking hands with each person individually as he or she goes out. Wish him or her a Merry Christmas.
When everyone has retired from the 2 apprentices, they do the same with them.
Hilly ho, my lads. Well done. A very fine job. And have a very Merry Christmas.
And thus the cheerful voices die away, and the lads are left to their beds, which are under the counter in the back shop.
Dear old Fezziwig, we're lucky to work for him. Who else can make a boy from next door but one cheerful, or get the cook skipping as high as the moon? Or make the baker, who never smiles, laughing fits the busted fruities, and turn this old warehouse into a palace of the dance. God bless old Fezziwig. Yes, Dick, God bless his old heart.
small matter, isn't it?
Small?
Ebenezer, old fellow.
Yes, Dick.
When we grow old, you mean grow older? We're going to be good friends, will we not? I think so. And have music and laughter and all that stuff for Christmas, just like old Fanny Week.
Just like you.
We're lucky fellas, aren't we? So we are. Sleep well. We can skip and dance like him when we're quite old. And a Merry Christmas.
What's the matter?
Nothing particular.
Something, I think.
No. I just want to say one or two words to my clerk, that's all.
My time grows short. Quick!
This was not addressed to Scrooge, or to anyone whom he could see, but it produced an immediate effect. For again Scrooge saw himself. He was older now, a man in the prime of his life. His face showed more of the rigid lines of later life, and had begun to wear the signs of care and avarice. There was an eager, greedy, restless motion in the eye that showed the passion that had taken root, and the shadow of where the growing tree would fall.
You can't be expected to understand business, man.
Can I not?
If those idlers don't pay their rents, then why, they must be put out on the streets. I've always paid on the nail.
And collected on the nail too, Ebenezer.
So I must. Am I a charitable organisation? Will we not have expenses when we have a home together?
No, Ebenezer, it must be done.
You don't understand business.
I understand that we can never have a home together.
Well?
It will matter little. To you, very little. Another idol has displaced me. If in time I compare and comfort to you, as I would have tried to do so, well, then I have no justice for you.
What idol has displaced you?
A golden one.
Is this the fair dealing of the world? It's so hard on poverty and yet it condemns wealth. Is that fair of you then?
You are too much afraid of the world. You want to be rich so that the world cannot touch you. That's your master passion now, or else it's forgotten.
Perhaps I've become wise at last, but I've not changed how I feel towards you. Have I, Belle?
We used to agree long ago, when we thought we'd work hard to improve our position just a little, and then we married.
I was a boy then. I was entirely ignorant of business.
And you have changed?
Not towards you.
When we agreed, we were one heart. Now we are two. Our agreement is fraught with misery. I can't tell you how often I have thought I must tell you this. It's enough that I have got it.
Have I ever tried to wriggle out of our bargain, Belle?
Well,
In what then?
in a changed nature, in an altered spirit, in everything that made my love valuable to you. Tell me honestly now, if you had never met me, would you try and win me? A girl without money or the hope of money?
You think not?
I would think otherwise if I could. But now you weigh everything by gain. And if you are false to a new idol and took me, well, what repentance and regret would surely follow. So, now I must release you from your promise. I do so with a full heart, for the love of whom you were. Yes, I remember what you were, and that makes me think you may have some pain with it. But soon, very soon you will recover. You'll dismiss the memory of me. You'll do it gladly. I was no more than an unprofitable dream. You'll be grateful that I woke you up at last. Goodbye now. May you be happy in the love you hope.
Spirit, show me no more! No more!
One shadow more.
Oh, no more, Spirit, please, no more! Conduct me home!
it to your grandmother.
Oh, you know I don't mind it, dear. You know I don't mind it.
Grandpa! I know it's Grandpa.
What's he brought her?
But father, you spoiled him. You brought them far too much.
Never too much. It's Christmas. Belle, my dearest.
Look at little Scrooge. That daughter may have been a springtime in the haggard winter of your life. Now listen.
Belle, I saw an old friend of yours this afternoon.
Really? Was it?
Yes.
Oh, how can I? I don't know. Mr. Scrooge?
Mr. Scrooge. I passed his office window. He has a candle inside and I could scarcely help seeing him. His partner lies at the point of death, I fear. He sat there alone, all quite alone, in the world I do believe.
Scrooge, I can't take it any longer. Hold me no longer, take me home.
These are the shadows of the things that have been. Don't take me.
No, I can't take it any longer. Take me home.
Hark the herald angels sing, hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King.
He turns to the ghost and seeing it look upon him with a face and which in some strange way.
There are fragments of all the faces it has shown him. He wrestles with it.
He barely has time to breathe his hat before falling into a deep sleep. Before he sinks into a heavy sleep.
Silent night, holy night, sleeps the earth, calm and quiet. Lovely child, now take thy rest on thy mother's gentle breast. Sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, shepherds bird with delight. Love the angelic hallelujah, and we love both near and far. Jesus the Savior is here. Jesus the Savior is here.
Gentlemen of the free and easy sort, getting up of a morning.
Frequently observed they go to anything from pitch and toss to manslaughter.
Well, going as far as that, old Scrooge as little any sort of surprises after what he's done.
And nothing between a baby and a rhinoceros can phase Scrooge now.
Now, without being prepared for anything, Scrooge is not by any means prepared for nothing.
Consequently, when the bell strikes one and no shape appears,
He is taking a violent fit of trembling.
5 minutes,
10 minutes.
A quarter of an hour goes by.
yet nothing comes.
All this time, Scrooge lies upon his bed, very core and centre of a rays of holy light.
Which being the only light is more alarming than a dozen ghosts.
He is powerless to make out what it means,
and is somehow apprehensive that he may be an interesting case of spontaneous combustion.
At last, however, he begins to think that the source and secret of this ghostly light might be in another room.
The idea taking full possession of his mind.
Scrooge gets up softly and shuffles in his slippers to the door.
Another spirit, I don't doubt.
Come down here and know me better, Scrooge. I am the ghost of Christmas present. You have never seen the likes of me before.
Never in my life.
Never walked out with my young brothers. They are older than me, for I am very young.
You have a large family spirit.
More than 1,800. One born every year since the birth.
That's a prodigious large family for a man to support. Now, spirit, conduct me where you will. I went forth last night to compulsion and learnt a lesson now which is working. So if you have anything to teach me, let me profit by it. And don't be too hard on me, not too terribly hard, eh? How do we travel? Exactly.
Through the air.
Oh, I'm a mortal man, remember? I'll drop like a stone, I have a curious fear of heights.
Touch my robe.
In the bleak midwinter, frosty winds make moan. Earth stood hard as iron, water like a stone. Snow has fallen, snow on snow, snow on snow. In the bleak midwinter, long ago.
White snow on the rooftop, dirty snow on the ground below.
And these breakfasts for sleepers, each a house at a time. There's nothing very cheerful in the climate or the town,
And yet there's lots of cheerfulness abroad.
Yet what can I give him, poor as I am? If I were a shepherd, I would bring a lamb. If I were a wise man, I would play my part. Yet what can I give him? Give my heart.
The poultry shops are still half open.
The fruiters still reign to level. Bill Grenade! Round pot-bellied battle chestnuts. Shit about the whiskers, jolly old gentleman.
And winking and watching shines to all the girls.
with the canisters wrapping up and down like juggling tricks.
And the blended scents of tea and coffee so grateful to the nose.
And the raisins so plentiful and rare.
And the candied fruits and cakes and splotches of molten sugar as to make the coldest look on your face. And subsequently bilious.
And the customers so eager that they tumble up against each other and clash their little baskets and leave their purchases behind. And they call such mistakes in the best humour possible. Now all the good people go to church or chapel.
Other good people fill the baker shop to get their Christmas dinner cooked.
The sights of these poor revellers seem to interest the spirit very much.
Would you apply your charm to any kind of thing on this day?
To any kindly given, to a poor one most.
Why to a poor one most?
Because it needs it most. Come, come.
boiling yet, Mother.
Where has your father gotten to? And Tim and Martha. Martha wasn't even late last Christmas. Where's Martha?
Here's Martha, Mother.
And here's the potatoes boiling at last, all ready for the goose.
I was up late last night sewing a ball gown for my lady, and then I had to be up early this morning to clean the shop for Christmas.
Never mind that, my dear, so long as you come. Sit you down and have a warm. Lord bless you.
Thank goodness I can have a rest tomorrow.
Your father can't. He has to be up early.
Oh, why's that? I know why. Mr. Scrooge.
What's father coming? Hide, Martha.
Now, where's our Martha?
Not coming.
Not coming? That spoilt half our Christmas.
No, it won't, Father. Now come on, Tim, let's go see how his pudding's bubbling.
And how did little Tim behave in church?
Oh, he was good as gold. Even better, but he keeps coming out with the strangest of things. On our way home, he said how he hoped the people in church would see him as a cripple. It might be pleasant for them to remember who made lame beggars walk and blind men see. But our Tim's growing stronger each day, isn't he? Each day he grows more hearty.
The goose, the goose!
The goose, make way for the goose!
Mrs. Cratchit makes the gravy hissing hot.
Master Peter mashes the potatoes with incredible vigour.
Miss Belinda sweetens up the applesauce.
Martha dusts the hot plate.
And the young Cratchit sets up chairs for everyone. Not forgetting themselves as they crowd spoons into their mouths.
Lest they should shriek for goose before their turn comes to be served.
For what we are about to receive, may the Lord make us truly thankful. And I do not believe there was a goose ever cooked before, Mother.
Not for tenderness, size and cheapness.
And enough for all.
Eked out by the applesauce and potatoes.
What a goose!
Spirit, tell me if Tiny Tim will live.
If these shadows are not altered, he will die.
No, Spirit, no. Let him live.
I said if these shadows are not altered, none of my kind who come after me will see him there. What of that, Scrooge? Does that concern you? Do you remember your own words? If he'd like to die, he'd better get on with it and reduce this surplus population.
I shouldn't have said that.
Man, forbear that wicked cant. Will you decide what men should live, what men should die? In sight of heaven, it may be you are more worthless and less fit to live than millions like this poor man's child. Oh God, spare us from hearing the small insect on the leaf deciding there's too much life among his hungry brothers in the dust.
The pudding, suppose it's not done enough.
Suppose it breaks when you take it out.
Suppose someone climbed over the back wall and stole it.
Here it is.
Safe and sound.
I had a moment of uncertainty about the quantity of flour.
Never you fear. Oh, it's a wonderful pudding. If I may speak without exaggeration, Mrs. Cratchit, I must regard this pudding as the single greatest achievement of our married life. Now, Merry Christmas to us all, and God bless us.
God bless us.
God bless us, everyone.
And now, one and all, I would like you to drink to the good health of Mr. Scrooge, the founder of the feast.
The founder of the feast, indeed. I wish I had him here. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast upon. I hope he'd have a good appetite for it too.
My dear, the children, Christmas Day.
It should be Christmas Day, I'm sure, on which we drink to the health of such a stingy, odious, hard, unfeeling man as Mr. Scrooge.
Yes, but remember, my dear, Christmas.
I'll drink his health on the day's sake and for your sake, not for his. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. He'll be very merry and very happy, I don't doubt.
Mr. Scrooge.
And the news I have for you today, young Master Peter, is you have been offered a junior clerkship at one of the most respectable companies of whom Mr. Scrooge does business as a salary of, wait for it, A full 5 shillings and a 6pence, which in your circumstances is considered princely.
Princely indeed.
What will you do with all that money, Peter?
No doubt you'll invest it on the stock exchange, as Mr. Scrooge does, won't you, Peter?
So here's the Master Peter in his new position. Master Peter.
Master Peter!
A fortunate family.
Why'd you say that? Their shoes above waterproof and their clothes scanty.
True, they are not handsome nor well dressed.
And that young Peter's seen inside of a pawn shop.
But learn this from them, Scrooge. They are pleased with one another and are contented with the times. Hold your gown about you. We are going on a journey.
Where to exactly?
You'll discover soon enough.
While shepherds watch their flocks by night, all seated on the ground, the angel from the Lord came down, and glory shone around. For glory be to God on high, and to the earth be peace. Goodwill henceforth from heaven to man, begin and never cease.
And now, without a word of warning from the spirit, they stand upon a bleakly deserted moor, down in the west. The setting sun leaves a streak of fiery red, which gazes upon the desolation for an instant, like a sullen iron frowning lower and lower yet, is lost in the thick gloom of darkest night.
Oh, Master and Mrs., I fought within to open the door and to let us come. Oh, Master and Mrs., we talk around the fire, and we pray upon the travellers that are travelling in the mine.
What place is this?
A place where miners live. They labour in the bowels of the earth, but they know me. See,
A light shines through a window of a hut, and swiftly they advance towards it.
Wassail, wassail, and a joy be to you, and a jolly wassail. For a joy wassail, and it's all wassail, and a joy be to you, and a jolly wassail. Where is the maid with the golden head to open the door and to let us come in? Oh, Master and Mrs., it is our desire for a good loaf of cheese and a toast by the fire. Hey!
Passing through a wall of mud and stone, they find a cheerful company assembled around a glowing fire, all decked out gaily in their holiday attire. The old man is singing them a Christmas song. It had been a very old song from when he was a boy, and from time to time they all join in the chorus.
For a joy wassail, and it's all wassail, and a joy be to you, and a jolly wassail. For a joy wassail, and it's all wassail, and a joy be to you, and a jolly wassail.
So surely as they raise their voices, the old man gets quite live and loud.
The spirit does not tarry there, but bids Scrooge hold his robe.
And passing on above them all,
Speak.
I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day in the morning. Whither?
Not to sea.
To sea!
But spirit, I'm not much of a sailor. I don't know how long my stomach will stand it.
What was in those ships all 3 on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day? And what was in those ships all 3 on Christmas Day in the morning?
Scrooge looking back fearfully to the last of the land.
His ears are deafened by the phantom of the water. It rolls
And roars
and rages
among the dreadful caverns and tries to undermine the earth.
And Saviour Christ and His Lady on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. Our Saviour Christ and His Lady on Christmas Day in the morning.
Oh, where is our wassail cup? It is made with the grapes of rosemary tree, and so is the beer of the best barley. Oh, will I call upon the butler for the golden drink, and have a better beer, and for better we shall sing.
Upon a dreadful reef of sunken rock stands a solitary lighthouse. Its doorbell born of the wind, one might suppose, as even before of the water. Rise and fall about it like the waves they skim. But even here the men who watch the lights play the fire.
And wish themselves a Merry Christmas in their candle crock and surge up a surging song that is again itself.
And joy come to you and to your wassail too, and God bless you and send you a happy new year, and God send you a happy new year.
Come,
Where to now?
far from any shore.
Again
the boat speeds on,
above the black and heaving sea until they alight on its ship's sway in storm, and stand beside the Johnson at the wheel. Every man among them has a Christmas tree, or has a Christmas thought of some bygone Christmas day.
With Homer's hopes belonging to it.
It is a surprise to Scrooge while listening to the moaning of the wind,
And thinking what a solemn thing it is passing through the darkness over an unknown abyss, whose depths and secrets are as profound as death. It is a great surprise to Scrooge while thus engaged to hear a hearty laugh. It's a great surprise to Scrooge to recognise it as his own nephew.
And to find himself in a bright, dry, gleaming room with the spirit standing by his side.
and looking at that same nephew with approving affability. If you happen to know a man more blessed in the laugh than Scrooge's nephew, all I can say is I should like to know him too. If you do meet him, I'll cultivate his acquaintance.
When Scrooge's nephew laughs his way, holding his sides, rolling his head, and twisting his face in the most extravagant contortions. Scrooge's niece, by marriage, loves hard to see.
And their assembled friends, not being a bit behindhand, brought out lustily.
As I live, he said that Christmas was a humbug. And he believes it too.
What came to him, Fred?
Oh, Scrooge is a comical old fellow, and that's as pleasant as he might be. But his offences carry their punishment. I've really nothing against him.
And I'm sure he's very rich. They always tell me.
Oh, what of what, my dear? He doesn't do any good with it. He doesn't make himself comfortable with it. And he hasn't got the satisfaction of thinking that he's going to benefit us with it.
I have no patience with him. Neither have I.
Oh, he suffers by his ill-tempered whims. Why, no one but himself. He takes it in his head to dislike us and won't come to dine with us. What's the consequence? Does he lose much of the dinner?
Indeed, he loses a very good dinner.
An excellent dinner. We know that.
We've eaten it, so we must be allowed to be the best judges.
I don't think you beautiful young brides make good housewives. What do you say, Topper?
I say I'm a bachelor. A rich lad, of course.
Topper has clearly got his eyes on one of Scrooge's niece's sisters.
The one with the roses on her dress. No, the one with the lace one, Carl.
So who am I to pass judgment to beautiful young brides?
Oh, go on, Fred. He never finishes what he begins to say. He's such a ridiculous fellow.
What I was going to say, before I was rudely interrupted, is that we should feel sorry for Scrooge. He's oozing some pleasant moments which can do him no harm. I'm sure he'd find more comfort with us than his own thoughts, more warmth with us than his dingy old office or his dusty rooms. So I mean to extend the same invitation each year. He may rail at Christmas as much as he likes, but I'll wear him down in the end, I swear I will. And if that puts him in the vein of leaving £50 to his poor nephew, then so be it. I think I shook him yesterday.
We three kings of glorious are, there in hills we travel so far. Fields and fountains, moor and mountains, following yonder star. Oh, star of wonder, star of night, star of royal beauty bright, westwards leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect life.
I know that little air. My sister Fan used to sing it when I was sent away to school so many years ago.
Listen to it, Scrooge, for if you remembered it more often, you might. I think you might.
I like what, Spirit?
Have cultivated the kindness in life for your own happiness and with your own hands, rather than resorting to that sexton spade that buried Jacob Marley.
What's wrong with all us? So we can have no games this year?
Who will be the blind man?
I suppose as your ancient outcast of a bachelor. One, 2, 3.
I no more believe Topper is really blind than I believe he has eyes in the truth.
I believe it's all a plot between him and Scrooge and Lefty. The way he's not going after that process in the latest is an outrage to the credulity of human nature. Knocking down the fire iron, bumping into the piano, smothering himself in the curtain. There she goes, there goes he. He won't catch anyone else. If you fall against him and stand there, he makes a faint effort to catch you.
It isn't fair! It really isn't fair!
With all that rapid fluttering and stick and rustling, he cuts her into a corner from which there is no escape. His conduct is most irascible, pretending not to know her, pretending it's necessary to touch her to assure himself of her identity, by putting a certain ring on her finger, a certain chain about her neck.
It's Miss Rosie!
What a surprise!
Topper's behaviour is vile and monstrous, and no doubt that's why the club sisters taken Topper behind the curtain to tell how vilely he is behaved.
Animal, vegetable, and mineral.
Scrooge, our time draws near.
But there's a new game starting, Spirit.
Very well then, it's only a short while.
It's animal.
How many legs?
Well, 2.
Can you eat it?
Can you eat it?
Yes. Can it eat you? Can I gobble you up?
Has it got wings?
Has it got weight? It does.
It's a turkey.
Is it a turkey?
It is.
It's animal.
Does it live in a menagerie?
No.
Is it ever sold in a market?
No.
Is it a horse?
Is it a horse?
No.
A dog?
No.
Does it live in London?
Lives in London, yes.
Savage.
Is it savage?
Sometimes.
Does it growl and grunt?
Does it growl and grunt?
No.
Is it an agreeable animal?
No.
Is it real?
Yes.
When you see it in London, is it led about the streets?
No.
Is it a bear?
No, a bear with a sore head, perhaps.
Is it tight-fisted?
Is it tight-fisted?
Exceedingly.
I know what it is, friend. I know what it is.
What is it then?
It's your Uncle Scrooge!
He has given us plenty of merriment, that's sure. It would be pure gratitude not to drink to his health. So I say a Merry Christmas to the old man wherever he is. He may not have taken it from us now, but he may take it nonetheless. So raise your glasses, one and all, and a toast to Uncle Scrooge.
Uncle Scrooge!
My compliments to you all on this most joyful occasion. I want to raise a toast to my niece and nephew, who are with the names Mr. Toppler and Blum's sister.
It's no use, Scrooge, they can't hear you. We are invisible, don't you remember? And we must go once more upon our travels.
That night, Scrooge and the spirit travelled far. Much they see and many hours they visit, but always with a happy end. The spirit stands beside you, children, and they are cheered.
In foreign lands, they are far from home, by poverty, rich.
In almshouse, hospital, and jail. In misery's every refuge.
When vain man to breathe authority cannot make fast the door and turn the spirit out. The spirit forgets his blessings and teaches Scrooge's precepts.
It is a long night, if it is only a night, but Scrooge has his doubts of it.
He observes that during their travels the spirit grows older.
Clearly older, but he never speaks of it.
Until they're leaving a Christmas night party and they realise the spirit's hair is grey.
Are spirits' lives so short
My life upon this earth is very brief. It ends tonight.
Tonight!
Tonight at midnight. The time draws near.
Forgive me, Spirit, if this is not a pertinent question, but I see something quite strange. Not belonging to your good self, beneath your skirts. Perhaps a foot or a claw, perhaps?
It might be a claw for all the flesh there is upon it. Look here, man. Look here. Down here. Look.
The children, wretched,
Abject.
frightful,
Hideous.
Miserable.
A boy and a girl, yellow, meagre, ragged, scowling, wolfish.
Prostrate to their humility. Regretful youth should have filled their creatures out.
And touch them with the freshest tints.
A stale, shriveled hand like that of age pinched and twisted them and pulled them into shreds.
where angels' minds were sat enthroned, devils lurk.
And glare out menacingly.
And through all the mysteries of wonderful creation,
No degradation of humanity.
has monsters half so horrible and dread.
What have you to say?
Well, I suppose they're weakly 5 children. But whose are they, Spirit? Are they yours?
They are man's, and they cling to me in flight from their fathers. This boy is ignorance, this girl is want. Beware them both and all of their degree. But most of all, beware this boy. For on his brow I see that written which is doom, unless the writing be erased. Deny it all, you complacent people. Slander at those who tell it to ye. Admit it for your facetious purpose and make it worse. And then wait in patience for the end.
But have they no refuge? No shelter?
Are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses? Do you remember who said that, Mr. Scrooge?
Spirit, no! Spirit! 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 Spirit, oh Spirit! Am I in the presence of the Spirit of Christmas yet to come? Are you about to show me the things that have not happened yet, but will happen in time before us? Ghosts of the future I've been in most than any of the spirits I've seen so far. But I tell you, I no longer want to be the man I once was. I tell you true, sir. I tell you true. I mean, don't speak to me. Why do you not speak to me? Spirit, speak to me. Lead me on then. Lead on.
There they are in the heart of it.
Major, my pleasure.
They hurry up and down, keep their money in their pocket.
And look at their watches.
And toy thoughtfully with their great gold seals. No, nothing. I don't know my cousin. Either way, I know he is dead.
When did he die?
Last night, I believe.
What on earth was wrong with him? I thought he'd last forever.
God knows.
Hi guys, I'm sorry about what's going on.
Scrooge has died.
No. No. What is he? Where did he go with his money?
I haven't heard. This is his content, please. 10 miles please. Hasn't paid to me. That's all I know. It's like to be very cheap here from my. I don't know who to go to. So just make a party and volunteer.
I don't mind going to lunch provided I'm the master of bed if I am to make my way lunch.
My most diligent of you all. I never eat lunch and never back lunch. So I'm getting to funeral. Can't sleep a bit. Do you see best friends? Do you say good morning to each other occasionally?
Yorkshire ones a bit sickly, aren't they?
Can't suppose me.
No.
At present, Mrs. Larson. Bye. Bye.
How are you, Stanley?
Very well, thank you, Jobbins.
I hear the old devil's gone to donut bars.
I hear, Jobbins, cold enough these days.
Seasonal Christmas time, Stanley. You must escape, I suppose?
No, Jobbins. Got no time for that. Got better things to think about. Good morning.
Good morning, Stanley.
Ghost. They said that I died. But these conversations seem to be lacking significance. They could be all about Jacob Barney's. But that was in the past. They could be all about yours, but your promises in the future. Still you do not speak to me. Where am I in this future? That's me. That's where I stand on change most mornings. Under the clock. That's me engaged in my business. As usual.
Scrooge fancies that the phantom's eye is looking at him keenly. It makes him shudder and feel very cold. The spirit leads him to an obscure part of the town, one with ill repute. The Scrooge has never penetrated before. The ways are foul and narrow, the house is wretched, the people half drunk, slipshod, ugly. Alleys and archways, like too many cesspools and scorching fences, smell, dirt and life upon the straggling streets. The whole area reeks with crime, with filth and misery. In this infamous resort, there was a little betting shop where bones, bottles, greasy offal are bought. Sitting among his wares sits a grey-haired rascal who is 70 years of age. He smokes his pipe with all the luxury of calm refinement.
Here's a chart, old Joe. We haven't all three met here without meaning it. The charwoman, the laundress, the undertaker's man.
You couldn't have mentioned a better place. Come into the parlour. You're well suited to our calling and we're well matched. Come into the parlour.
What's the odds, Mrs. Gibbler? What are you afraid of? We all have a right to take care of number one. I am sure he did.
That's true indeed, no man more so.
And who's the worst of the loss of few things like these? Not a dead man, I suppose.
No, indeed.
And if the wicked old devil wanted him kept after his death, why wasn't he natural and kind during his lifetime?
That's the truest word ever spoken.
It's a judgment on him.
It should have been in everyone if I could have gotten my hands on it. Now, old Joe, open up my bundle, tell me the value of it. Speak out, please.
Right, let me go first. I've got little plunder.
All right, you old burial buzzard. Show us.
I am a seal.
5 shillings. That's generous.
I am a pencil case of Percy buttons. What can you stretch to?
Half a crown. Then further.
I am a brooch.
Of no great value. For a pence halfpenny. 8 shilling in all.
And for a pence halfpenny?
Threepence halfpenny if you insist. I want to give another farthing if I was to be boiled in oil for it.
Now, here's my items, Joe.
Towels to the number of 2. Bed sheets to the number of 2. Underwear apparel, various. Holier than thou. Silver teaspoons, old-fashioned. Sugar tongs that don't represent that much experience of sugar. 2 pair of boots, so then early in the poplar. £3 for the lot, and that's stretching it.
But
That's the problem, that is. They always stretches for the ladies. And if you ask me for another penny, I'll repent being so liberal and knock off half a crown.
Now then, you undo my bundle, Joe.
See, crown jewels in it.
Articles of great value, as you'll see when you spread them out.
What's this? Bed curtains.
Ah, you in it first time? That's right, bed curtains it is.
Something to say, took them down. Brings and all, you didn't lie in there.
Yes, I do. How else could I have done the job? lovely items there, as you can see, Beast.
You're born to make your fortune, and you'll certainly do it.
I wouldn't stop myself from reaching out for what I want, not for such a man he was anyway. Don't you go getting wax all over those blankets now.
His blankets instead?
He isn't likely to take cold where he is, I dare say.
Didn't know anything catching, eh?
Only from the meanness, and I don't know how contagious that is. You may look through that shirt till your eyes ache and not find a hole or threadbare face. It was the best he had, and they would have wasted a bit if it hadn't have been for me.
What do you call wasting of it?
Someone was fool enough to put it on him to be buried in, but I took it off again. Rough calico ain't good enough for such a purpose, it ain't good enough for this, and it's quite becoming to a court. Anyway, couldn't look uglier than he did in fine linen.
This where he kept his chinks, is it? Golden guineas.
That is not for sale, Joe. You've got your pickings, old man. This is the end of it. You see, he frightened everyone away from him while he was alive, so we can profit from his death. I take that very kindly.
I see it now, Spirit. I understand it. The case of the unhappy man that might have robbed could be anyone. That was the path my life was taking. Merciful heaven, what is this? Spirit, you lay here. You want me to lift the sheet? It'd be easy. A twitch of my finger would do it. See who lays here. But I can't, Spirit, I can't. I can't do it. And still you do not speak to me. Who is it?
Cold,
Cold.
rigid, dreadful death. Set up your altar here and dress it with such terrors of your command. This is your dominion.
No voice says these words in Scrooge's ear, yet he hears them when he looks upon the bed.
He thinks that if this man could be raised up now, what would be his foremost thoughts?
Vast, hard deeds, gripping cares. They brought him to a rich end, truly. He lies in the dark, in an empty house without a man, a woman, or a child to say he was kind to this one or that, or for the meanings of the word to say, I will be good to him.
There's a cat scratching at the door, and the sound of rats beneath the hearthstone.
What do they want in the room of death? Why are they so frantic and disturbed? Scrooge doesn't dare to think.
This is a fearful place, Spirit. Answer me one question. Who is it that lay there? Who is it? Tell me that quickly. Where am I in this future, Spirit? Where am I?
And he called a little child unto him, and set him in the midst of them. And he said, Verily, I say unto you, except ye be converted, and become as little children, ye shall not enter the kingdom of heaven.
Where have I heard that before? I couldn't object it. Go on reading.
My eyes get tired by candlelight. Rest a little, mother. No, I wouldn't show weakness to your father, not when he comes home. It must be near his time.
Rather past it. He's got a little slower, I think.
I've known him walk very fast with Tiny Tim on his shoulders, very fast indeed.
So bad.
But Tim was light and your father loved him, so it was no trouble at all. That's your father now.
Oh, so quick with your work, Mother. You and Martha had it done by Sunday.
Sunday? You went to stay then, Mum?
Yes, my dear. I wish you could have been there. It would have done you good to see how green a place it is. But you'll see it often. I promised him I'd always walk there on a Sunday. My little boy. Tim. You'll never guess who I met today.
Father, tell us.
Tell us.
Mr. Scrooge's nephew. And you'll never guess the kindness he said to me. I seemed a little down, just a little down. So I had to tell him that I was here. And he's just the most kindest spoken gentleman you ever did hear. He said, I'm heartily sorry for it, Mr. Cratchit, and I'm heartily sorry for your good wife. By the way, I can't think how he knew that.
Knew what, my dear?
That you're a good wife, of course, my dear.
Everyone knows that.
Well observed, my boy. I hope they did. Heartily sorry, he said, for your good wife. If I can be of any service, he said, and then he hands me his card. Very handsome, I'm sure. All printed and embossed. That's where I live, he said. Pray come to me, it wasn't such a thing he might do. Just the kind of way he said it, which was most delightful. Really as if he knew our tiny Tim and felt one with us.
I'm sure he's a good man.
Oh, you would be sure of it, my dear, if ever you was to meet him. Now, I wouldn't at all be surprised if he was to give my young Peter here a better situation.
Only hear that, Peter. And soon our Peter will be courting and setting up for himself.
Get along with you, Belinda.
Now, it's as likely as not one of those days, eh, my boy? There's plenty of time for that, my dears.
One of those days, perhaps.
But no matter how each of us part from one another, I don't want you to forget. No, you'll never forget our poor tiny Tim. Now, shall we?
Never. We won't.
Nor this first passing among us all?
Never, Father, never.
Then I am very happy. Very, very happy. Spectre, inform me that our parting moment is almost at hand. And still you do not speak to me. Who was it that laid in the bed? Who was it? Tell me! Wait a moment. That's my office. And that's my room. And that's not me. It's no longer me earning my daily bread. Where am I, Spirit? Where am I? Tell me that quickly!
Here then the wretched man whose name Scrooge still has to learn lies underground.
It is a worthy place,
Walled in by houses,
Overrun by grass and weeds.
choked up by too much furring.
fat with repeated appetite. A worthy place.
Ghost, before I look at that tombstone, tell me who laid in the bed. Was it I? Was it? No, no, no! It was me! It was me that laid in the bed! Why did you not damn me, Spirit? I understand it. I no longer was the man I was. I've changed myself completely, Spirit. Completely! Ebenezer Scrooge is here. And no one lying on my bed. And my curtains. Everything is here. It all happened. Every single bit of it. Jacob Marley came through here. And the ghost of Christmas past stood in here. And the rest of the spirits wandering out there, I saw through there. Happy Christmas. And a happy New Year. It's all happened. It's all happened. Ha! 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 What's today, my fine fellow?
Today, sir. Why, it's Christmas Day.
It's Christmas Day? I can't believe it. The spirits have done their work more than one night. It's all happened. It's all happened. Now, sir, do you know the Poulter Street? Not that one, but the one next to it.
I should have it.
Okay. Intelligent boy, delightful boy, a boy to breathe from. Now, if you could, sir, could you get the prize turkey? Not the big prize turkey. I mean the big prize turkey. Not the small prize turkey.
What, you mean the one as big as this?
Yes, I do. Could you come back with it? Come back with it, and I'll tell you who to send it to.
Are you serious, madam, sir?
Yes, I'm serious. I'm very serious. I will give you a shilling for it, and perhaps a crown for it.
One bloody shot, sir.
Thank you. I will send it to Bob Cratchit, to Screener's Passage, Camden Town. But he shan't know who sent it. He'll probably think a massive bird has fallen from the sky. I hope he plays it well, and has it with beans and sausages. Dear old door knocker, it's you. I never thought I'd say this, but I love you. We've been through some things, haven't we? Old door knocker. Dear old door knocker.
Sir!
Oh, marvellous, thank you very much. Oh, that bird is massive. How can it stood on its legs?
Where is it to go, sir?
It's to go to Bob Cratchit, Screener's Passage, Camden Town. But he shan't know who sent it.
Of course, sir.
Thank you. Could you call me a cab?
You're a cab, sir.
Delightful boy. There's some shillings for the cab, and there's half a crown. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
But people are pouring forth.
Like you'd seen with the ghost of Christmas presents. Walks amongst them, greets everyone with a delighted smile.
He looks so irresistibly pleasant that 3 or 4 people can't help but say, "Good morning, sir! Good morning, sir! And a Merry Christmas!"
Of all the polite sounds I've heard, that's the politest to my ears.
Then he saw the 2 portly gentlemen.
Hello, gentlemen. How exceedingly kind of you to call me yesterday. A Merry Christmas to you, and a Merry Christmas to you, sir.
Mr. Scrooge? Is it Mr. Scrooge?
Yes, it is Mr. Scrooge. Now, can I ask for your pardon? A small contribution.
Mr. Scrooge? Did you say a modest sum? Mr. Scrooge? Did you say a small contribution? Lord bless us, Mr. Scrooge. Are you serious?
Yes, I am very serious. But don't tell anyone.
We won't.
And you will come and see me.
We will.
You promise you will come see me.
We will.
Thank you, gentlemen. You deserve it. Thank you. And a Merry Christmas to you both.
He had never dreamed that any walk, that anything, could bring him so much happiness. In the afternoon, he turned his steps towards his nephew's house. He walked past the door many times before he had the courage to go up and knock. Then he makes a dash and does it.
Hello there. Is your master at home?
Yes, sir.
Or can I come in and see him?
He's in the drawing room, sir, along with the mistress.
Thank you, kind girl. Fred! Are you there, Fred?
As I live, who's that?
It is I, your Uncle Scrooge.
Welcome, Uncle Scrooge, 1,000 times welcome. Look, my dear, it's Uncle Scrooge. Uncle Scrooge come to dinner at
Nice to
last.
meet you. Is it all right to come to dinner?
Yes, of course, Uncle
Oh,
Scrooge.
thank you very much.
Why don't you give her a kiss for her, Uncle?
A kiss? Should I? Oh, how very kind of you. Thank you both very much.
You're very welcome, Uncle Scrooge.
Ah, Mr. Topper. It is I, Mr. Scrooge. Nice to meet you. This is my nephew.
Should we play some games, Uncle Scrooge?
Some games? To start off the proceedings?
Of course.
Oh, that would be great.
Wonderful happiness.
They all go late to bed, tired out of joy of the occasion, but Scrooge is early at his office the next morning.
Oh, he's early now. If only Scrooge can be first in and see Bob Cratchit coming in late.
That's what he set his heart on.
And he does it, just as the clock is striking 9.
9 o'clock and no Bob Cratchit.
15 and still no Bob. Scrooge sits with his office door open, hoping to see his clerk come into the tank.
Hello, Cratchit. What do you mean by coming at this time of day? I'm extremely sorry, sir. I'm behind my time. Behind your time? Oh, yes. A full 18 and a half minutes behind your time. I'm so sorry, sir. Christmas is but once a year. It shall not be repeated. I was making a rather merry yesterday. If you please, sir. Now I'll tell you what, my friend. I'm not going to stand for this sort of thing any longer. And therefore, I will raise your salary.
Now Bob has no doubt at all that his master is taking completely his senses.
He has a momentary idea of knocking Scrooge down with his own ruler.
And calling out to the courts for help in a straitjacket.
A Merry Christmas, Bob. And a Merry Christmas, my good fellow, that I have done for many years.
Mr. Scrooge, are you sure you're feeling quite yourself?
My new self, Bob. My old self no longer. Now I'll raise your salary and try to help your struggling family. We'll talk about it tomorrow afternoon after a Christmas bottle of mulled wine. But before all this, in the name of sanity, buy another coal scuttle for your fire, before you've got another eye or cross another T. Bob Cratchit. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. It's very welcome to you.
At the end of it, Scrooge is better than his word.
He does it all and infinitely more.
He becomes as good a man, as good a friend, and as good a master as the good old city knows. Or in any other good old city, town, or borough in the good old world. Some people laugh to see the alteration in him, but he lets them laugh and lets it heat them.
For he knows that nothing good can ever come of this globe.
At which some people do not have their fill of laughter. His own heart laughs, and that's quite enough for him.
Now Mr. Scrooge is a second father to Tiny Tim, who did not die.
What's wrong with you, Mr. Scrooge, just to keep up the cold?
Oh, thank you very much. And I've decided to give up on the spirits forever.
It's always said of Scrooge that he knows to keep Christmas well. If any of us possesses the knowledge, then let that be truly said of us. And all of us.
God bless us, everyone.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas.